Many people consider me, one of the great masters in my own field. I'm a fighter. I've fought all my life. The guys that I'm training in UFC, I want to be able to work on a project that will give people around the world the chance to represent.
A series of shocking encounters, backstage betrayals, and jaw-dropping incidents has rocked Hollywood. And at the center of it all is none other than Steven Seagal. 6 A-list celebrities have stepped forward to share explosive stories, each revealing a side of the ponytail-wearing action star that fans rarely get to see. From chaotic on-set moments to simmering personal grudges, these tales expose why Seagal has earned such fervent disdain. Who are these stars, and what exactly pushed them to speak out? Let's dive in and uncover the truth. Number 6. John Leguizamo. Actor and comedian John Leguizamo has never forgotten the first day he worked alongside Steven Seagal on the 1996 action thriller Executive Decision. For most actors, the opening day of rehearsal is a gentle introduction, a chance to meet fellow cast members, get comfortable on set, and start building the chemistry that makes a film click. But for Leguizamo, that day quickly turned into something far from ordinary, an experience he would describe as both shocking and unforgettable.
Against you because you're calling Steven Seagal all kinds of names.
But why'd he slam me against the wall?
Well, he shouldn't have done that.
He later recounted how Seagal entered the rehearsal room with an almost theatrical sense of self-importance. Instead of exchanging polite greetings or small talk, Seagal loudly proclaimed, "I'm in command. What I say is law." To Leguizamo, the declaration was so absurd that he couldn't stop himself from laughing. Who says something like that on the very first day of work? The moment seemed so ridiculous. It was almost surreal, but the laughter quickly vanished. According to Leguizamo, Seagal didn't respond with words. He responded with force. In a swift motion that combined precision and aggression, Seagal slammed Leguizamo against a brick wall using an Aikido elbow strike, leaving him gasping for air and sprawled on the ground. Dazed and shocked, all Leguizamo could manage was a breathless, "Why? Why?" The humiliation and pain of that instant lingered in his mind for years. Instead of burying the incident, Leguizamo later transformed it into comedy. During his 2011 Broadway one-man show, Ghetto Clown, he hilariously reenacted the encounter, complete with exaggerated impressions of Seagal's flailing arms and peculiar running style, something critics had once described as strangely feminine. The audience roared with laughter, but beneath the humor lay a memory of intimidation and bullying that had left a mark. Seagal, unsurprisingly, did not see the humor. Reports suggest he once threatened to punch Leguizamo if they ever crossed paths on a red carpet. True to his comedic instincts, Leguizamo brushed it off with a sharp quip. "I don't think he's invited to a lot of red carpets." Reflecting on the incident years later, Leguizamo noted how Seagal had shifted from a working-class martial arts trainer to what he described as an egomaniacal diva. To him, that one bizarre day wasn't just a single bad encounter. It symbolized the oversized ego that Seagal carried into every room he entered. Here's how he behaved with a man. But what about a woman? Did he act the same way? And if so, who was involved? Let's uncover the full story. Number 5. Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron is not the kind of woman anyone should underestimate. She has built a reputation in Hollywood as someone who combines raw talent with relentless determination. The world first witnessed her extraordinary depth as an actress in 2003, when she completely transformed herself into the role of real-life serial killer Aileen Wuornos in Monster. That haunting performance earned her the Academy Award and confirmed she was far more than just a glamorous star. She was an artist capable of vanishing into the darkest corners of human nature. But Theron's career didn't end with drama. She reinvented herself once again, this time stepping into the physically punishing world of action films. In Mad Max: Fury Road, she became the fierce Imperator Furiosa, commanding the screen with strength and grit. In Atomic Blonde and The Old Guard, she proved she could fight, leap, and endure bone-crushing sequences with the precision of a trained warrior. She often performed her own stunts, undergoing grueling training regimens that demanded as much mental toughness as physical strength. To many, Theron became more than an actress. She became a symbol of discipline, intensity, and unstoppable willpower. So when Charlize Theron was asked in a 2020 interview with Howard Stern about fellow action star Steven Seagal, she didn't soften her opinion or choose polite words.
She added, "I have no problem talking shit about him because he's not very nice to women, so f*** you."
Instead, she was disarmingly direct. Referring to viral clips of Seagal demonstrating martial arts, where he barely moved while tossing around compliant opponents, Theron didn't hide her disbelief. "He's just incredibly overweight and pushing people. He can barely fight. It's ridiculous," she said flatly. With that blunt remark, she pierced the long-standing myth of Seagal as a martial arts master, reducing his tough guy image to smoke and mirrors. Yet Theron didn't stop at questioning his abilities. With the same courage she shows on screen, she addressed the darker allegations surrounding Seagal. Over the years, multiple women, including Jenny McCarthy, Portia de Rossi, and journalist Lisa Guerrero, accused him of harassment and misconduct. Theron's response was sharp and fearless. "I have no problem talking about him because he's not very nice to women." Her words were unflinching, part personal, part universal. She wasn't just dismissing his skills, she was condemning his character. By speaking out, Theron joined the growing voices in Hollywood unmasking Seagal, tearing apart his carefully crafted legend, and reminding the world that predators, no matter how famous, should never be shielded by silence. Could there be another woman ready to back up her claim? If so, who is she? And what explosive details does she reveal? Let's uncover the truth. Number 4. Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, the trailblazing UFC champion turned professional wrestler, has built her career in the unforgiving world of combat sports. Her reputation rests not only on her devastating armbar submissions and lightning-fast victories, but also on her relentless drive, razor-sharp instincts, and fearless attitude. Fans admire her for her dominance inside the cage, while fellow fighters respect the discipline and resilience that carried her to the top. Yet, for all her admiration of true martial arts mastery, there is one figure in Hollywood's long list of so-called action legends who fails to impress her.
I'm so mad that he would say anything like that to Gene,
Steven Seagal. Seagal, often celebrated as a martial artist and larger-than-life movie star, may hold a towering presence on screen. But to Rousey, the mystique surrounding him does not measure up in real life. Her criticism is not rooted in petty dislike. It stems from her deep respect for authenticity in martial arts. Rousey has long been close to John LaBelle, a world-renowned martial arts master, stunt coordinator, and Hollywood legend whose skill and credibility are beyond dispute. LaBelle's legacy speaks for itself, and Rousey makes no effort to hide where her loyalties lie. In fact, she has publicly echoed a notorious story whispered for years in Hollywood circles, that LaBelle once humbled Seagal on a movie set, allegedly leaving the actor in an embarrassing position after claiming he couldn't be choked out. With trademark bluntness, Rousey remarked that LaBelle could destroy Seagal all over again, a statement that cuts through the glossy image Seagal has worked hard to project. Rousey, of course, delivered her jab with the playful sharpness that has become part of her personality. In one interview, she quipped that if Seagal ever confronted her, he should bring along a spare pair of underwear, since she could easily make him crap his pants a second time. Though clearly said with humor, the joke carried an undercurrent of confidence, an unspoken reminder that she is not intimidated by Hollywood mythology, nor by the egos of self-proclaimed martial arts masters. Her comments add a fascinating twist to the ongoing conversation around Seagal's contested legacy. By calling him out, Rousey reinforces her own brand: fearless, straightforward, unwilling to tolerate exaggeration or false legends. In doing so, she reminds the world that respect in combat sports is not earned through flashy movies or tall tales, but through undeniable skill, discipline, and the kind of authenticity that Rousey herself embodies. Let's uncover who dares to uncover yet another shocking truth about Steven Seagal. Number 3. Juliana Margulies. Before she became a familiar face on ER and later won acclaim for The Good Wife, Juliana Margulies was simply a young actress chasing a dream in Hollywood. Like many hopefuls in the early 90s, she was eager for her big break, unaware that the path to success could sometimes lead to dangerous and deeply unsettling encounters. In 1991, she auditioned for a role in Steven Seagal's action film, Out for Justice. At the time, it was not unusual for rising actors to be told to meet stars or producers in their hotel rooms. What seemed like a casual industry practice would turn into a chilling moment Margulies never forgot. Years later, she recalled the experience during a CBC radio interview. The memory was still sharp, every detail etched into her mind. She remembered entering Seagal's suite and sitting down, only to feel something strange beneath her. Pressing against the couch was something solid and cold.
Juliana Margulies has alleged that she had a horrific experience with Steven Seagal in a hotel room.
A second later, Seagal casually pulled out a gun, chuckled and said, "Oh, I must have left my gun there." For Margulies, alone in a hotel room with a famous action star, the moment was anything but funny. Fear immediately set in. But the night grew even more bizarre. Seagal placed the gun within arm's reach on the nightstand and then, in a strange shift, offered to read her palm. Claiming he had spiritual powers, he leaned closer, presenting himself as some kind of mystical guide. To Margulies, it was surreal and terrifying all at once. With a loaded weapon nearby and no one else in sight, she felt trapped between maintaining politeness and protecting herself. Her instincts screamed at her to leave. Thinking fast, she made a quick excuse and rushed out of the room, her heart pounding, her body shaking. Though she escaped without harm, the fear stayed with her for years, a reminder that Hollywood's glittering surface often hid dark and dangerous shadows. Ironically, that unsettling night became a strange form of protection. In 2017, when Margulies was later asked to meet Harvey Weinstein in a hotel room, she refused outright. The earlier brush with danger had sharpened her intuition, giving her the strength to say no. What could have been a career setback turned into something far more valuable, a lesson in self-preservation. Margulies' story reveals the hidden risks young actors often face and shows how survival sometimes depends not on opportunity, but on instinct and courage. Who else has felt the force of Steven Seagal's intimidation? What shocking circumstances brought her into his path? Let's delve into the shocking story. Number 2. Jenny McCarthy. Before Jenny McCarthy became a household name as a bold and outspoken actress and TV personality, she was one of many young hopefuls navigating Hollywood's uncertain audition circuit. But one audition would leave her shaken, a chilling memory that lingered long after the lights went down. It was for Under Siege 2, Dark Territory in 1995, and McCarthy expected the usual professional reading, the kind of audition every actor endures in pursuit of their big break. Instead, she stepped into a situation that quickly turned uncomfortable and deeply intimidating. McCarthy later recalled that Steven Seagal, the movie's star, immediately made a demand that caught her completely off guard.
Steven Seagal audition where just 2 years prior to writing the book, even less than that, a year.
"There's nudity. Take off your dress," he allegedly said. Shocked, she politely refused, pointing out that the script contained no nudity. But Seagal pressed the demand further, ignoring her objections and insisting she comply. In that moment, McCarthy felt not just surprised, but violated, as the power imbalance in the room became terrifyingly clear. Overwhelmed by a mix of fear, disbelief, and anger, she broke down, tears streaming, and stormed out of the room, yelling that he could simply rent her Playboy video if he wanted to see her naked. Even as she thought she had escaped, the encounter escalated. McCarthy alleged that as she got into her car, Seagal grabbed her and issued a stark warning, "Don't you ever tell anybody." The message was unmistakable. Intimidation meant to silence her, but McCarthy refused to be cowed. She spoke out about the encounter, refusing to let the incident fade into silence or shame. Years later, she continues to recount the story openly, calling out the predatory behavior she faced, and using her platform to shed light on an issue many victims of abuse experience in Hollywood. Her story is a stark reminder of the risks young actors, particularly women, often face in the entertainment industry, a world where talent can sometimes clash with power, leaving the vulnerable exposed. McCarthy's courage in sharing her experience demonstrates that standing up, speaking out, and refusing to be silenced is a powerful act, one that resonates far beyond the audition room. Curious who the last celebrity to openly declare his disdain for Steven Seagal is. It's none other than action superstar Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let's dive into why these martial arts legends clashed. Number 1. Jean-Claude Van Damme. The simmering tension between Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme has captivated action movie fans for decades, stretching back to the 1990s when both men were at the peak of their Hollywood fame.
Steven Seagal I don't know why he puts that upon himself, that he has to try to legitimize himself as a fighter. It's ridiculous.
On an episode of the Arsenio Hall Show, Seagal was directly asked about Van Damme's reputation as a martial arts champion. Instead of offering respect or praise, Seagal cast doubt on the legitimacy of Van Damme's title, stating simply, "I think that's a matter of opinion." The remark wasn't just a throwaway comment. It revealed the mix of skepticism, pride, and condescension that Seagal carried toward his peers, setting the stage for a rivalry that was as psychological as it was cinematic. The tension escalated beyond casual jabs. In a later interview, Seagal was asked whether he believed Van Damme could handle himself in a real-life fight. His reply was sharp, dripping with disbelief and arrogance. "Can I laugh in your face?" This blunt dismissal became a hallmark of Seagal's public persona, the combination of confidence and disdain that fans both admired and reviled. Viewers of Seagal's reality series, Steven Seagal, Lawman, saw similar displays. In one memorable episode, Seagal scoffed at the idea of facing Van Damme in combat, comparing it to squashing an ant, a metaphor that highlighted his unshakable self-belief, though it hardly conveyed humility. Yet the story takes a dramatic turn when seen through another lens. Actor Sylvester Stallone, who hosted both stars at a party in 1997, shared a different version of events. According to Stallone, Van Damme had grown frustrated with Seagal's repeated disses and challenged him to a fight in Stallone's own backyard. True to form, Seagal made excuses and slipped away, but Van Damme, fueled by determination and perhaps indignation, pursued him to a nearby nightclub and offered the challenge again. Seagal, unwilling or perhaps unable to engage, vanished once more. This episode became legendary among Hollywood insiders and fans alike. It was more than just a clash of martial arts masters. It was a dramatic duel of egos. Van Damme's persistence collided with Seagal's evasive maneuvers, leaving observers to debate endlessly who would truly prevail if pride, reputation, and raw determination were the only measures of victory. In the end, the rivalry between Seagal and Van Damme remains an enduring symbol of Hollywood bravado, a battle fought as much in public perception as it ever could have been in the ring. So, which of these 6 celebrities vehemently hates Steven Seagal? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.